Hello and welcome to SWIMFANS. This is your number one, your first and only erotic thriller podcast for the week, and that is a threat. Okay, I am your co-host. I didn't know that Viggo Mortensen was supposed to be mute until like 40 minutes into the movie. I'm Josh McKenzie.
I'm cranking open the aperture when the director of photography isn't looking. I'm Craig Neeson.
Damn it, I was going to make a joke about the color saturation. I'm Jennifer Hawking.
You still can. Do another one.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, mine was an aperture joke.
Yeah, Craig's was exposure. You can still do saturation.
Okay, leaning on the saturation dial for too long and not realizing my mistake. I'm Jennifer Hawking.
This week on the show, we are talking 1995 Philip Ridley film, The Passion of Darkly Noon.
Just do it.
Okay, so if you somehow missed The Passion of Darkly Noon, I mean, okay, on one hand, yes, nobody's ever fucking seen this movie.
No.
On the other hand, rarely have you seen internet heartthrob Brendan Fraser this Twinkie. So, like...
Right.
Where is everyone?
Yeah, I mean, like, all the people who are posting through, wasn't The Mummy, like, 1999? This is 4 years younger.
Yeah.
He's more supple in this movie. Technically speaking.
I couldn't tell how old he was supposed to be in this. Because, like, he looks like he's in his, like, mid-20s or something. But everyone
I thought he was in his mid-20s.
But everyone was just like, no, he's just a boy. And then I was kind of like, well, I guess it kind of would make sense if he was like a child, like he lost his parents and stuff. And like, I get that he's supposed to be like this kind of like sheltered guy. We can go into it later.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Sorry.
So if you haven't seen... If you haven't seen The Passion of Darkly Noon, the story is about the eponymous Darkly Noon, played by Brendan Fraser.
Named as MF
right
Darkly Noon.
He's named that, by the way, because of that absolute heater of a Bible verse, the one that's now we see through a glass darkly, the scanner darkly Bible verse, that heater. Mm-hmm. That's why he's called Darkly. Anyway, so his name is Darkly Noon. Right at the start of the movie, his like family and like, separatist religious cult. There's been like some sort of like Waco type situation, and Darkly has run away from wherever the cult was living. He passes out in like a street, and a man named Jude, a young man, picks him up and brings him to. Like a woman's house. Her name is Callie, and she's played by Ashley Judd. So Callie, she technically lives with her longtime partner, common law husband deal named Clay. But there is a plot point where Clay does these things where he just walks away for days at a time. So as of the moment, Callie is living there alone. So she like takes care of Darkly, nurses him back to health, I mean, what's important to know about Callie is that she's like really hot. Like genuinely, Ashley Judd is super hot in this movie. And they style her really hot. So to contrast with how quite literally buttoned up Darkly is. So as Darkly and Callie sort of open up to each other, Callie reveals that like everyone in town hates her for some reason. So she lives sort of alone with Clay in the middle of the woods. And Darkly begins to develop sort of like somewhere between mother to like romantic sexual feelings for Callie. Callie like shows him all around. She takes him to this like she takes him to this cave that is implied to have like indigenous like cave paintings on the wall. So she takes him to this cave in like in the middle of the woods, and it's there that Darkly tries to like confess his feelings to Callie, but Callie's like, no, listen, Lee, we're a family, and I love you, but in like a not sexual way. Don't ruin this. Darkly begins to continue to pine for Callie, even though he has been pretty solidly rejected. And it's not long before Clay, played by Viggo Mortensen, comes home. Clay is mute. And he makes coffins for the town. there's a booming coffin industry in town. And Clay and Callie, importantly, are very like sexually active together, like pretty openly, like in front of. I mean, they're used to being alone, so they're always on top of each other. But now Darkly can witness it, and so he starts to sort of like sexually obsess over Callie. He tries to do small things like convince Clay to like marry Callie, to do this sort of like proselytizing that very conservative people will do. But pretty roundedly rejected, and so they sort of settle into this strange family unit. As Darkly begins to get sort of darker and darker, he meets Roxy, played by Grace Zabriskie, and she is like a woods hermit who she lives in the woods, and she hates Callie. And we discovered that the reason everybody in town hates Callie is because Roxy has told everybody in town that she's a witch. Most people would assume this is metaphorical, that she's like a mean hot lady. But Darkly, as you'll recall, who just got out of, again, like a Waco type deal, is quite sure that she means that Callie is literally a witch. We find out that Roxy is Clay's mother, and that Roxy believes that Callie killed her husband and took Clay away from her, and that's why she hates her so much. When Darkly brings this to Callie, Callie's like, okay, first of all, the dad made a pass at me. He was a lecherous old creep and he had a heart attack. And secondly, I'm not taking Clay anywhere. We're in love. So, that's that on that. But Darkly, of course, who's, already weird, is spending more and more time with Roxy, and she's like, sort of starting to poison his mind. Roxy goes downhill quick. Her dog dies, and Roxy says that she has no one left to love. Darkly, he begins to like do like weird sort of like Dan Brown style self-abuse, like, in the Da Vinci Code where the albino monk is like lashing himself.
Silas, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Silas. Yeah. Thank you, Craig. He makes like this vest out of barbed wire, so instead of being horny, he'll just feel pain instead. So he's getting weird, and Roxy, completely bereft that her dog, her son, her husband have all left her, she commits suicide. So now Darkly, on the edge, when he finds Roxy's body in the woods, he hallucinates his dead parents, who are like, okay, you've got to kill the witch. Like, I can't believe you've yet to kill the witch. Just do it, Darkly. So he like sort of drifts from Roxy's trailer to this cave. Jude tries to be like, hey, Darkly, you're not doing so hot. Let's get away from this place. Let's get out of this small town. And Jude is going to take Darkly away. But before he can do that, the final movement of the film happens when Darkly breaks into Clay and Callie's house and tries to murder them. So he takes one of Clay's like awesome like bladed chisels that he uses to make it's kind of like an anime weapon. Like it's just like it's just like a sharp. It's like a sharp steel rectangle on a stick. And he tries to like he like attacks Clay and Callie. He injures them both pretty badly. But importantly, he like busts all of the electrical wiring in this dry ass house. So the house begins to go up very quickly. So the house is on fire. He's badly injured Clay. He's broken his leg. And he's trapped Callie upstairs and is going to kill her before Jude shows up and shoots Darkly to death, saving Callie's life. In the final scene, I like left this out because it's like it's not plot relevant till the very end of the movie, I guess. But like there's like a floating shoe, okay, on the river. It's like a large prop shoe, like a very big prop shoe, big enough to put inside of it the corpse of a large dead dog, because Roxy and Darkly do like a Viking funeral for this dog in this floating prop shoe. Okay, so
it's very Shuji Terayama.
It's a very strange image, and it's not plot important until the last scene here, where as Callie and Clay and Jude are looking at the blackened remains of the home, a family of circus performers comes out of the woods, and they're like, hey, our circus fell apart, everything's gone, and the only thing we had left was this giant shoe, which is also now gone. Do you know how to get to town? So Jude and Clay and Callie and the circus performers walk back to town. The little boy has like a model of the shoe that he gives to Callie. If that's a symbol that does anything for you, that's sort of like the last shot of the movie. What did we think of The Passion of Darkly Noon?
I thought this was all right, I guess. I wish it was better. Because there's like ideas in here that, you know, they might be onto something. Like you're watching it, you're kind of like hoping they nail the landing, and they kind of don't really nail the landing. Like it doesn't really feel like they're operating with like a template. So you like kind of want the movie to succeed, even though it kind of doesn't. Like I find like the premise of like this weird religious guy finds himself in this like psychosexually damaging situation to be like entertaining, not like intellectually compelling, but it's like they're doing like the men projecting onto women thing, and it gets kind of like nutty enough with that, with like the barbed wire and the painting himself completely red thing, that I can't like hate the effort. You know, there's like enough going on that I'm like, yeah, I feel like really into Brendan Fraser. You know, maybe give this one a watch. But if you're not, then like there's not like too much here to work with. Brendan Fraser seems like he's really like trying for something. Like it feels like he's really trying to like disappear into this character. It doesn't really happen. But it's clear that it's like a movie where you're watching, you're like, yeah, you guys tried, you know, you tried for something, you didn't really do it, but like the effort's commendable. It seemed like this got like a restoration recently because it looked really digital, like at least in the colors to me, like it's too saturated or something. Like I know like that must have been like recent tinkering with like DaVinci Resolve or whatever. Like that was a little distracting. I don't think it originally looked like that. This is all right. I had a generally fine enough time watching this.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just listening to. I had no idea that any of these actors were in this film. Just listened to a WBEZ, NPR, or whatever interview with Fraser talking about how like when he got famous, which was very sudden, you know, he came from nothing, and suddenly in the same year, 1992, I think, Encino Man, and then School Ties. I feel like everyone remembers Encino Man, and no one remembers School Ties, and dramatically different, right? He's playing this like cartoon ape in one, and he's playing like a boarding school. I think he's like the only Jewish kid or something like that, or I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it. Anyway, like Fraser's trying here. Like he's really trying to embody this character that's, you know, exited out of a cult, and is trying to grapple with you know, these his beliefs and you know, everything he's seeing, but like it's not quite there. And I also wanted the film to be better, because I mean, my God,
so true, bestie.
I mean, but look at what you have here for a cast: Grace Zabriskie,
Yeah.
Viggo Mortensen, Ashley Judd, Brendan Fraser. Incredible. Like that's stacked. You know, to begin, I mean, there is an annoying in the casting of Grace Zabriskie, in this kind of like what I want to call magical realism of the film. And it's like pointing to, you know, Wizard of Oz ass like stuff. I'm like, don't stop doing David Lynch. Just stop. Like, don't do it. Please stop doing it. Mercifully, it doesn't really do a lot of it. But the big fucking shoe, man, really just, I don't like the shoe.
I'm pissed about the shoe.
Yeah. I mean, see, but that's the thing. You know, Jennifer was talking about how, like, you know, no interest in intellectualizing the film, right? But, like, I feel like the film is begging the audience to be like, analyze me. You know, but it's like kind of like it's a little annoying about it. It's like, analyze me. So I'm doing psychoanalytical things. Analyze me. And I'm like, no.
Don't you want to write an essay? Don't you want to record a podcast?
Exactly. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. I fundamentally don't want to do that. And I think the cave scene, to me, is such a perfect symbol for this film, insofar as like the cave is really elegantly constructed. Even the lighting thing that they have going on, where it's like reflecting,
Yeah.
this impossible shimmering pool of water is reflecting on them and all the stalagmites and stalactites. But then you have this like just idiotic, like child brain chalk drawing with like a red handprint on the wall, which is like, like it's like, you've gotten the fucking fumble and you're running with the football and you're almost to the fucking the goal, right? And then you just decide to like walk straight left off the field. There's something so elegantly like encapsulated in that moment, because this cave is the heart of the woods or whatever, and then it's like, here's this shitty fucking like caveman art. My brain was like, that's chalk, then not using charcoal, and I don't know that they would be able to synthesize a blue back then. Blue is actually really hard to make. As a pigment, that's not really happening. Like, like this movie is blinding. And like, I mean that like both in its like story and its construction, and like the fact that like the aperture is like raw. It's not keyed to the shutter speed correctly, or it's like it's being pushed in a way that's like there's so much pure white here. And like it's Ashley Judd is like, here I am analyzing the film, but like she's also pure white. She's like blonde. I don't think I've ever seen her blonde. She's like hot and she's kind and she's like a good person. And then like, but he's like dark and stormy, and like that's, I think, where the character drama like works and so on. And also Viggo Mortensen's childlike presence in the film. He's like male protector, but he's also like doing little bird calls, and he's kind of like delicate. Like there's something cool happening in there, but then it's like, what if he was just so ravaged by having to like goon in the barn that he did, a barbed wire to himself? I don't like the whole like the Christian guilt, whatever, insane evangelical nightmare that he was like born out of. Like I don't really care about these things aren't interesting. I don't care about the collision of the chastity ideology ingrained in the young boy conflicting with the kind of how do I say it, like spontaneous and genuine physical and romantic kind of like love that Viggo Mortensen and Ashley Judd have for each other. Like he's like, they have this like perfect little idyllic nature home, and he's in a little forbidden coffin barn jerking off, and like I don't know, for some reason like I think that's the most interesting part of the film, but also like I also don't care about that as a structure, right? I don't think that's like an interesting. I feel like so many. It feels easy. It feels easy to throw the like the big symbols, like the forbidden fruit, right? He takes the apple core and he puts it in his little fucking. There is a ghoul box in this film, incidentally. In his ghoul box.
Oh yeah, there is.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to do these things. I don't want it to do. Like just don't do those things.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And then but then it does it. And yeah, I'm left kind of wondering why the film is so inscrutable, and why it didn't just like chill out a little bit.
Yeah, I chose this, so this is my fault. For me, I will say that I don't think I've ever seen the title of a movie do more heavy lifting than The Passion of Darkly Noon. And I say that because like every time something in this movie annoys me, which is like a lot of things annoy me. Okay, I'm gonna save my thoughts on like the color grading for later, because I think we have a lot to say. But like when I ran into that, when like the acting is weird and overwrought, when nothing makes I don't know, when nothing makes sense, but not in like the thought provoking way. And then just like, and then just when it's sort of like, sort of like half-hearted, like horny vibes along the way. What keeps me going, what lubricates the experience is the phrase, the passion of. And then I remember, oh, it's like a passion, right? So he's like just experiencing all of these intense emotions all of the time. Because if the movie was just called Darkly Noon, I think I would be a lot more annoyed, because the title of the movie keeps reminding me that this is supposed to be like a passion type experience, where it's supposed to be. This is not, by the way, a forgiveness of all of the shitty stuff the movie does, but but it does it reminds me of where my expectations were when I hit play on The Passion of Darkly Noon, because it's called The Passion of Darkly Noon. So very, very well named, I guess. I don't know. I guess I sort of like found my peace with how the movie looks. Because I think the payoff at the end of the movie was sort of worth all of like the insane levels of like contrast that are in like especially the daylight scenes of this movie. Like fluorescent red Brendan Fraser is kind of the payoff for that. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of glad you did this. But you do have to endure a lot of shots that aren't so beautiful. Yeah, I mean, the acting in this movie is terrible. Like, I don't know. And like, these are great actors, right? Like, this is Viggo Mortensen. This is Brendan Fraser, who this is revealing of my childhood. My childhood experience with Brendan Fraser is Bedazzled, the movie about trying to fuck the devil.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I was absolutely not monitored. My television viewing was not monitored as a boy. So this is why I have an erotic thriller podcast. But like it's a pretty solid cast. Like, I mean, we've seen Viggo be really good. Like, I like Ashley Judd in the few movies I've seen her in. Brendan Fraser is usually good. I mean, whenever you see Grace Zabriskie, you're like, I'm about to have a nice time at the movies. Not so in The Passion of Darkly Noon. I'm not really sure how these actors were directed to be like. Maybe they were like told to be like, because Ashley Judd is like at an 11. Like at all times. Yeah. And compared to like Viggo, who's playing, I mean, like he doesn't speak in the movie, but like his like body language is usually pretty casual, usually pretty laid back, like definitely a guy who pipes. But he's like giving like a completely different level of energy than what Brendan Fraser and Ashley Judd are bringing. And Grace Zabriskie is kind of like doing something else. And it's just like, it's not like meshing in a way that feels coherent to me. I guess like I kind of thought the sexual stuff was like more perfunctory than anything else. Like when he started jerking off, I'm like, yeah, I mean, of course you would, right? Like I actually kind of thought she would hear him, because like it seems like she can tell that he's there. But that didn't seem to be part of the plot. She didn't seem to know he was doing that. And then like when he did bust out the barbed wire like chastity vest, I was like, now we're talking. Like, this is sort of like what I've been waiting for. All in all, I guess it shakes out to like okay. Like, I think the few things this movie does that are nice are sort of nice. And then a lot of the stuff that the movie does, like the performances and the shoe, just really drag it all down. Can we talk about the color grading now? I feel like we all might have a lot to say about that.
Yes.
So if it's not been made clear by what we've been saying, like the movie is insanely blown out in terms of like its exposure. And then I don't know if it's to compensate or if it's to compensate and make a visual statement. They just crank the saturation 150% further than previously thought possible. This movie is, the saturation is cranked up. So like Ashley Judd, who not only is a fairly pale woman, but also in this movie she's blonde. In all of the daylight scenes, she's like a ghoul. Like she looks like her
she's blown out.
Yeah, her outlines just bleed into the dust behind her.
Yeah, no, it's like Repo the Genetic Opera, where it's like the brightnesses are so bright that there's like no detail in them. Like that's
right,
operating on a same like contrast scale that this is.
Yeah, there's just like scenes where you've completely lost all information, right? Like where parts of the frame are just white. you know. And it's honestly like it hurts after a while, and then it'll get really muddy too. Like it establishes a kind of like, oh, I'm very like blown out and so on, and then it'll cut to a scene that's like in the woods with like Grace Zabriskie that's like darker, but the darks aren't dark, like the lights are light or something. It's just mud. It's like it's really like a flat thing. It's also somehow saturated at the same time. Like it doesn't feel like an important thing to when you're doing like a really heavy stylistic choice like this. It doesn't hurt to do a screen test beforehand, and it doesn't feel like they thought through it. You know what I mean? It feels very unintentional, because there's so many parts of the film that are again like muddy and lifeless. So it feels like incompetence on the part of like the photography rather than a stylistic choice. It's unpleasant, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, like I think the only, I mean, like, okay, again, I do think it pays off in two ways, because like I think that a lot of those, and I'm complimenting Appalachia for this, because the forest is fucking gorgeous. Like that scene, like that like stoop where they're on like a rock and they're looking up at the forest. You know what I mean? Like I think Ashley Judd and then Jude go up there with Darkly. Incredible view. The greens are really greening. I want to be in the woods. That was my first thought before the movie started happening. I'm like, damn, I should just move to the woods. I'm going to delete my Twitter account and move to the woods, right? So I think this sort of like visual, like really, this sort of like visual commitment they're making really works for like the trees and the greenery. And it really does pay off when Brendan Fraser is covered in when he's covered in red paint, although he was already actively bleeding. I'm like, you're already bleeding, man. Just like use your blood. Like you don't have to do the paint, but it's fine. He's fluorescent red and there's a bunch of fire and it looks awesome. And it sort of makes all of the uglier shots, all of the eye bleeding scenes sort of worth it for me, because like it's at least it's a statement. Right. So, I mean, aside from like those two sort of fringe benefits, the only nice thing I have to say about how the movie looks is at least they went for it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you can't say they didn't commit to the bit the entire way through. I didn't like it, but at least they did it.
No, that's something you kind of got to hand it to the movie, is that it didn't really play it safe, like in any way.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like bros onto nothing, but like he didn't play it safe. Even that shines through in the god awful color correction in this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great point. Nothing they did was safe or simple. In fact, it's quite typically with this movie the opposite problem.
Yeah. Who let bro cook?
Yeah, there was just no fucking producer here. just some guy had a runaway fucking budget, and it was just like, let's fucking go. I mean, like the sorry, I'm gonna use a shitty word. The mise en scène of like the little house that's in the clearing with its attendant barn where coffins are made is actually kind of interesting. And like, the forest in like at least the beginning, and I guess kind of throughout, is idyllic. There aren't like, how to say this, it's a nice forest. It feels like it doesn't feel foreboding. It's not the fucking forest from Antichrist. It's also like, yeah, there's something again, this like magical realism. It's something that like should not like exist, right? Like the idea of like having a front porch that just kind of like overlooks the nothing, being like kind of surrounded by wilderness, making one's living by making coffins. Like it's very like on that like very basic like storybook level, I find it compelling, but like in execution, it gets a little goofy. And that's like it feels like a full ass house. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like some kind of Potemkin. You know, like it's like it's a facade that they built out. It feels like very real. You know, like when Brendan Fraser's like looking down, from his goon barn. It feels like a very full house. I don't know how to describe it other than it works convincingly as like a scenario.
Yeah, I like its like surreal Americana thing.
Yeah,
like there's juice in there somewhere. And I kind of like when like his parents just start showing up in weird places like The Shining or something. Like there are bits of it that I think are used really well, but it can't. I don't know if it just doesn't have the taste level to juggle between like, oh, your dead parents are here chastising you for feeling lust for the first time or whatever, and then here's this big shoe.
Right.
Like there's no, like I can't keep it above a certain threshold of quality for its surreal imagery, I guess.
Yeah, and to sort of like add on to that, like there are so many parts of this movie that feels like they're there to make a point, like to like say something. Like Clay has like an ultra specific job. Okay, he like makes coffins and that's his job. Clay has this thing where he just wanders into the woods for a week sometimes. There is like, I mean, like Craig is saying about this. Yeah. They're like, they live in like a storybook house, like the witch from Hansel and Gretel, which I guess maybe is what, maybe if I'm meeting the movie 85% the way there, is supposed to like sort of, help this sort of like witch feel. And it feels like these are such specific choices that you would use them to like inform something, like in a movie that I think shares DNA with this, like Blue Velvet a little bit, where but like a movie that's like competent works really well.
Yeah.
Everything in Blue Velvet sort of adds up and like goes somewhere, and all the weird idiosyncrasies sort of like do something. But I don't think that the movie meaningfully uses this sort of Clay's mutant. Actually, it's so much of it is about Clay. He's mute for some reason. He only makes coffins. He disappears for periods of time, and so you want to think that this is like parts of a whole that will become clear as you watch, or like at least are like poetic in some way. But I think they're just like things you gave to your OC to make them stand out on DeviantArt. Like I'm not really sure like what what they're doing. And then like you have of course really obtrusive visual metaphors like the shoe. And what I hate even more than the shoe, you guys, is the little shoe. I'm pissed off about
my God.
Yeah. If
that
it was just the big shoe, I'd probably shrug it off. But like the movie stopping at the end to be like, no, it's about the shoe. I have no time for that. Go to hell, Philip, whoever.
Oh my God! Wait, is it like the fairy tale about the little old lady that lives in a shoe?
Maybe.
Doesn't she have a family that also lives in the shoe?
Is it Cinderella?
No, it's like a nurse.
It's like a sparkly shoe, right?
Oh yeah, it is a
and
sparkly shoe.
He gives it to Ashley Judd.
What is going on?
But it's like a boot.
Why is this happening?
The traveling circus man, which we haven't even talked about, in the baby elephant. He says
the most pastoral to die in the country shit imaginable.
I was like, we have Santa Sangre at home. When he explains it, he's like, yeah, our boat sank, and that fucking shoe just floated away, and like all we have left is this model. The little shoe doesn't look anything like the fucking like the floating shoe. It is a boot covered in like really shiny like little particles. You can see the boot underneath it. It's just a boot covered in sparkly things. It's really frustrating because like Josh said, it's very specific and it's very obtrusive, but it doesn't like I don't like again, it's not something that is ambiguous in a way that I find compelling, and it's also not solid. Like it doesn't mean anything. It in fact, by like pulling it and distressing it like the film does, it really doesn't mean anything. You know, like it's like like it was a Viking like what did the shoe become? The floating shoe. It became a Viking funeral pyre for Grace Zabriskie's dog that died off screen, who we didn't really get to know a lot. Rest in peace, dog.
It was named Dog.
And like you know, and Grace Zabriskie, in order to like make the dog go, you know, they have this disagreement that animals don't go to heaven. You know, like he has like Stockholm syndrome, and she's like, "Go to heaven, dog," and he's like, "Heaven." You know, he's like just like repeating like an ape the things that she's saying. They find the shoe, and they're just like, "Well, all right, let's fucking set this bitch on fire." So like, you know, what is it a thing of mourning? Like, is it because we have the coffins, but we've established the coffins to be essentially just transactional tokens, because the Undertaker comes and he's like, "I fucking love it when people die. It is the greatest thing. I love you, God, for killing people, and I love Clay. I love that you make these coffins so that I can charge people money when they die. I fucking love it when people die." And it's like, okay,
he's so queeny too. I love.
Oh my god,
character.
He's like the most effeminate. Like, I mean, fucking RuPaul kicks in the door and is like, "I fucking love it when people die."
RuPaul does say that though.
Like, but what are we doing with these things that should have weight, right? But they're ultimate, like,
yeah.
they're really specific, but they're somehow capacious. You know, like.
Well, now I'm thinking. Okay, now I'm thinking these all of these like specific things are supposed to reference like fairy tales, right? Like Clay has like a fairy tale job. Okay, his specific portrayal of muteness seems like how you would portray a person who is mute if they were in like a fairy tale. Right, like he doesn't like no sign language. He just sort of like whistles. I guess maybe people do that. I don't know, but like it maybe. And so all of these idiosyncrasies are supposed to be like comparing fairy tales that we know as children with like the American ultra conservatism and religion, and then maybe if you want to like add another scoop, you could say like Americana itself, right? So you're comparing fairy tales versus Darkly's fairy tales that, you know, he expects to like everyone else to abide by. And then what? Because like the movie doesn't do anything with that.
Yeah.
Because the movie doesn't like because the movie isn't really about Darkly's beliefs versus reality. So like when he comes out of his fairy tale cult into a fairy tale forest, it's not about him having to like come into conflict meaningfully. Like he's just horny.
Yeah, right. I mean, the first thing that happens is that Ashley Judd's like, "Do you want to go to the watering hole? You know, is it a sin if I just wear this negligee that you can see my nipples through?" You know, like immediately the conceit is established that like Brendan Fraser has this internal, even though his parents are fucking dead, you know, this regulating superego thing that's like, "Don't fucking do it, dude. Don't fucking do it." But Ashley Judd's over there being hot, and it's really hard to not fucking do it. And like, that's not really interesting, you know?
No.
That's not, I mean, again, like that's a childlike kind of construction of like religion meets the secular world or something. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because like, okay, yeah, absolutely. You can say that Darkly lived his life in a fairy tale woods, right? Like, what's the meaningful difference between a cult's lies and Hansel and Gretel? Like, none, right? Except for that one of them kills people and the other is a story about a fairy tale witch. So like, if you're comparing those two. Okay, sure. All right. I see. That's that's a metaphor to make a movie around. But then I don't know that it meaningfully does that in a way that's worth the hour and a half of runtime and various floating signifiers. It just doesn't do anything with it. It's not about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them eats children, and the other one's Hansel and Gretel. And there's also the thing with Viggo Mortensen, right? He's a carpenter. He's like Christ, right? And he's humble. He's a simple man. And it's like, but don't do that? But he's established to be like a good man or something. But then he, I mean, I don't think what he does is particularly disagreeable, but he does fly off on the handle and fucking beat the shit out of Brendan Fraser. I think he might have had it coming, but there's just a lot of construction and yarn spinning about really really childlike things that I don't feel like the movie is confident in talking to us about or something. Like it like the realist that it gets is this idea that Fraser has come from Branch Davidian, but when the fucking ATF supposedly it was the smoke grenades that fucking caught Waco on fire or whatever. Branch Davidians did it themselves, but there's just this that's a push out from the real world, and that's that was probably pretty topical, right, at the time.
Sure,
we're pretty proximate in time to this thing, and it's okay, so Brendan Fraser is born, he's in flight from this this thing that's shaped his brain, but it doesn't give him anything more than a guilty conscience, and that's not interesting.
Yeah, it feels like the movie thought metaphor was enough. You can just you can just reference the little old lady who lives in a shoe, and that's enough. And I'm like, well, no. Then you have to tell the story about how the metaphor could in some way inform how we live, and through perhaps devices such as hyperbole and exaggeration to sort of shine a light on the various lies that we tell ourselves. And instead, it's the movie was no, I already talked about Hansel and Gretel. What are you talking about? I've already done that. I've already made the movie.
I mentioned
she's a forest
already.
witch.
Right. And the thing about displacing, in the storybook way, Brendan Fraser finds maternal comfort in Grace Zabriskie's hatred and judgment, while very obviously painting Grace Zabriskie as the crone witch who lives in the fucking woods. Right.
Yeah.
She's the one. I mean, she's the fork-tongued one. Sowing discord in his poor little brain. The witch is projecting onto Ashley Judd her witchdom. And again, I don't even know that that's particularly interesting. It's because Zabriskie, because Zabriskie's she's living in a trailer with this dog, and she has a gun, and she's been, there's this, the barbed wire bird, to teach a dog not to bite down completely on, the birds that have been shot. So they retrieve them properly, and you can fucking eat them or do whatever the weird shit hunters do to the birds they kill. So there's that idea of the barbed wire within that. Through pressure, he self harms on it. I don't know, but I don't know what to do with all that. I don't.
Well,
it's the passion of the Christ, and I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I mean, at some point, because you really do for the first 45 minutes of the movie only see Callie through the eyes of Darkly, right? So like when Zabrisky's character is like, oh, by the way, she's a witch, actually, I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's going to like recontextualize how she was acting. Like, okay, yes, she was like sort of turning Darkly down, but maybe she's like toying with Darkly, like for some weird gratification. Or maybe it's going to do the A24 thing where she actually is a forest witch.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you just like, and they were just sort of... like on the cutting edge of that, right? No, I think she's just a regular hot lady with her hot husband in the woods.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that was me. And so like, again, you can be like, okay, so then I'll be done in a second, but like you can again say the point is that the lies, the fairy tales of, this conservative cult made him see this woman as something she isn't. But it's like, I guess, but I mean, and I guess that's what the movie's about, but like, I don't know if that was interestingly interrogated in any meaningful way.
Yeah. That was basically what I was going to say is like, no, I think that there is an idea here, and it's like men projecting onto women all of their like desires, and when they're not reciprocated, then all of a sudden they turn and they're going to believe the crazy lady in the woods over the woman and just sort of believe that she's evil. Like, I get that. That's definitely the point. Which is like maybe a little more self-aware. Maybe self-aware isn't the word that I'm looking for, but there's so many like movies we watch where it's like it believes that, but it doesn't interrogate it in any meaningful way, and like it sort of comes out of like, yeah, women, sometimes they're just evil. She's evil. She's brilliant. Like it just happens. And like there is at least like some part of this that's like, no, he's like so willing to believe this other kind of like religious fanatic that it sort of like overwrites all of his lived experiences with this woman. And then like, if you really want to follow it down, like, isn't that American culture, man? And like, it doesn't earn that. I don't think that's all there. But I do think that like there's a gesture in that direction going on. But yeah, it doesn't really like lead to anything terribly compelling.
Right.
It's very shallow of a read of that dynamic.
So this is all something that happens off screen, and is something that we're told about is Ashley Judd's origin story. That she, much like Brendan Fraser's character, arrived in the woods one day, and then there's two diverging stories that she seduced and killed Grace Zabrisky's husband and Viggo Mortensen's father because she's a witch, and then she took the son as her quarry, as her own. Okay, so that's Grace Zabrisky's version, the one that Brendan Fraser eventually buys into. And then there's Ashley Judd's version, which is a little more grounded in reality, where she arrived as a young girl in the woods, and then the father husband tried to sexually assault her and died in the process. His heart fucking exploded. That seems on the level that scans a little bit more for me. There's at least a little bit less mysticism in that one. But like, it tells you that thing. And then, when Ashley Judd and Brendan Fraser are confronting, or at like they're this tension is suddenly face to face. She's like, "Oh no, did she tell you her fucking story? Here's my version of it. Here's what I'm telling you what happened." But it doesn't see it's taking this thing of like, do we believe the Judd character or do we not believe? But the thing with the film is that we've basically been told if only through Brendan Fraser's pointless, needless, insane descent into psychotic violence, that Grace Zabriskie was very wrong. That Ashley Judd is not the A24 witch. Like the movie is very, 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 very fucking clear that Ashley Judd's she's just like a normal lady. She's normal. She's regular.
Yeah.
Although the shoe belongs to her in some kind of weird way. The silver shoe of purity, goodness, or something.
Yeah. I think Jen's absolutely right. Like, I think if the movie's about anything, it's like how these American fables lead to systematic abuse of women. But yeah, I mean, like we've said, like just mentioning them and making a movie about them are not the same thing.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's so inconsequential ultimately, because like Brendan Fraser was already headed towards fucking psychosis, already like resentful in some way of Ashley Judd, just by virtue of the fact that he's horny for her. Like we didn't really need the origin story parable, or like the divergent path of who's telling the correct story, because he's already on the path to like annihilating her, because he can't, like, because it's more like acceptable to his ideological fucked up man brain is that he can destroy her, but he can't fuck her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like another like unnecessary and unearned and not particularly well handled instance of a woman saying I was sexually assaulted, and then it not being consequential to like anything, because the movie can't handle that. Isn't even interested in handling that in a way that like clarifies or holds it, or like does anything other than create a point of that's it. It creates a more friction. It's a thing that creates more friction between things. It's another flashpoint, but I think it deserves to be more than a flashpoint, because I think that's what it's what the film is circling around, but it can't like bite into.
Have we considered that they didn't have time to make a movie because they were too busy throttling the saturation slider, and that really got in the way of making a movie?
The dude's trying to write it, but like he's like way too interested in the screen test that he shot, and he's like like jacking up the saturation.
There's no fucking time, man.
Making sure that all the highlights are clipping, and he can't do another draft. He loves it when those highlights clip. He just
what an insane looking movie, man.
It's crazy. I don't know. I really do love just like, God, it's so on the nose. Like, I mean, Brendan Fraser becomes Satan at the end of the movie. He's red and in fire.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm so glad you made this movie ugly as fuck just for these 5 shots where he's red and fire. It's really worth it.
Those do look sick when he's like coming through the woods and shit.
Oh my God, and he's like making his own light somehow.
Yeah,
he's so red.
He's sort of like glowing in the middle of the darkness in red. Yeah, that actually does look awesome. But I think you could have just done like a Taxi Driver thing, and then just like cranked up the like saturation and exposure for just that scene. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if you had to like sacrifice the rest of your movie for that.
Yeah, right, yeah. And sorry, just this just occurred to me, the fact of Jude being the which Jude. I don't know, man.
I know.
But like,
I know.
I know.
I know.
But like the fact of like even his presence in the film. Like, I get that he like shepherds the poor Brendan Fraser to be revived and cared for, and loved in a curious way by Ashley Judd. But I'm not understanding his presence in the film. Like, they go to the cliff and he's like check out this little rock. It's dinosaur poop. You're my friend. And then like, and then a couple, and then like, 10 scenes later, he's shooting him with a fucking bolt action rifle through the heart.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
why is he doing that? Why has Viggo Mortensen been incapacitated in the yard? Like why him? Like, what resonance does that have?
Yeah, it's really like kind of just a nothing burger for the movie because like that's like Darkly's like only normal relationship is this like what we're told is a friendship between he and Jude. They like have one scene together and Jude's like, that's Darkly, my best friend. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and what's more frustrating is that the movie is very, very, very like anal retentive about you knowing exactly what day it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
How many days it's been since Darkly has arrived at the homestead. So you can't even be like, it's probably been a few months. Yeah, maybe they are friends because because the last bumper just said 10 days.
Yeah.
No, they had a nice laugh about the dinosaur poop rock, and they're best friends now.
He's lonely.
Yeah, it's hard out there in the woods.
Yeah, like maybe if there had been some sort of situation where something about Darkly like is good for Jude, like how this is in any way a mutually beneficial relationship. So there's any sort of meaning when Jude has to like cap him at the end of the movie. Because I mean, it seems very specific that it's him and not Clay who kills him.
Yeah, right.
But they don't have a relationship. All we've done is watched him jerk off to Callie and get psychotic at Grace Zabrisky's trailer, which I would do that too. But it's just you can't just then say that actually these two are close friends and this relationship was anyway meaningful.
Yeah.
I feel like you would have to make Jude and Viggo like the same character or something. There'd have to be some kind of like multifaceted like dynamic to their relationship, which the movie doesn't do. If like Viggo was more of like this father figure to him and like there were things that like they liked about each other that like complicated it, like that would make sense. But like Viggo doesn't talk, so he doesn't like do anything for most of the movie. It's actually kind of just like it's more distracting than anything. That like I know he probably wasn't like Viggo Mortensen, like in big headline on the top of the movie poster or whatever at this point, but it's still like really distracting that it's just Viggo Mortensen. He's not saying anything.
Yeah, that's Aragorn right there.
Yeah,
right,
like
exactly.
You have to do something with him. His face looks like that. Like you can't.
Right, exactly.
There should be a moment where he speaks anyway. Yes, he can't talk. He should speak anyway. You have a character that you need to have the Silent Bob scene where Silent Bob talks in the movie. That is the movie version of having a waterfall in your video game and there's nothing behind it. That is like having a silent character who never speaks. How unsatisfying is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, how dare you not put a nice little cove behind your waterfall?
Right,
For
fuck
real.
you.
There better be a collectible behind that bitch. I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
I
better get 10 extra rings. I better get a whole emblem going behind that thing.
I saw this incredible post. I don't know if it was Twitter or Blue Sky, but it was like me when I discovered there's an alcove behind the waterfall, and it's like bullshit, derivative, so obvious, you fucking stooge. And then it's like me when there's not an alcove behind the waterfall, and it's like, how dare you not put an alcove behind the waterfall? Do you guys have any final thoughts about The Passion of Darkly Noon?
This director made another movie that I haven't watched yet, but it's been on my list forever, called The Reflecting Skin. That's supposed to be pretty good. Check back in a few weeks. I actually just got a copy of it, so
Oh, nice. Nice.
I can report back on that maybe next week.
Thank you for your service.
This is just something that was just caught in my fucking brain. But like so Jude's coming to get a coffin, and that's why he, stumbles upon Frasier. loads the coffin up into the bed of the truck. You see that the coffin is basically like adolescent child sized, and it's like, is that of significance? Like that he's not. It seems to be, at one point, Brendan Fraser's like building or sanding rather, which he then paints a little like a baby's rocking cradle thing or whatever I don't know you would call it. And it's like, why is he building child coffins and cradles? Like, like that's also a weird facet that's just there and then not dealt with. Because there is a child at the end of the film, but like, again, it doesn't do anything. I mean, the child is dressed in an old West, he's got the fucking like the leather little frills on the jacket sleeves. But it's all gay and shiny because he's a circus kid. I don't know, man. I don't know. It just a lot of these things get caught in my in the brain and they don't do anything.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier of like, is he supposed to be like a child? Because like that would kind of make more sense to the for the movie, in my opinion, is if Brendan Fraser was instead played by like a 15-year-old or something. Yeah. Who would have these sort of like hormonal swings and be at like the cusp of adulthood or something. But like he looks 25. He doesn't look. He's been an adult for a couple years now. And
I think he is. I think he is supposed to be 25, but they like just don't have any smoke shows at Waco, so like he's just never seen a hot lady before.
Right. Yeah. Hottest lady is his mom and.
That's its own problems.
But then they're also having him do like this sort of like socially stunted or like this, I don't know, like mentally handicapped like line delivery at a bunch of times, throughout the movie.
That's right. And they give him a stutter and then they take it away.
Yeah,
like it's a selective stutter. Oh, fuck, I forgot about that.
And it just feels like a child should be delivering those lines. And then it would also tie in with this like fairy tale thing. I just don't.
Yeah, it seems like you get either the like American Fantasia metaphor or you get the being horny for Ashley Judd metaphor. And this movie isn't big enough to hold both at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't call Brendan Fraser, who's taller than everyone in the film, kid. It doesn't work on a psychic level, We don't perceive him like that. Yeah, it should have been a younger kid, and then it would be transgressive too.
Yeah, because Ashley Judd is also like, no, I've basically adopted you, you grown man. Like you live with us, we're a family now, but like your place in the dynamic is that of a child anyway. It's weird. It just doesn't connect. It feels wrong.
Yeah, and your very progressive parents are gonna fuck right in front of you at the dinner table.
Yeah, like
they think it's all in the family. It's normal. It's normal when your parents just start fucking at the dinner table.
I gave this 3 stars. I guess it like goes for it hard enough that I'm like, I don't like what you did. I don't think the movie is very coherent. But you went for it.
I give this 3 Ashley Judds stuck in a dryers out of 5.
Fucking 2.5 for me. I cut this right down the middle. This was offensive to me on too many levels to be okay.
I respect its swings enough to not be annoyed at it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for listening. Oh, goody.
From Naji Kirima. The Heroes 3 have challenged the Swim fans to an 8 Mile style rap battle. How does this play out?
Okay.
I'm going to say that there are 2 musicians in Heroes 3. But I still think we'd win the battle through gumption.
Yeah. No, in spite of me immediately getting on stage and shooting myself in the leg, I would somehow, I would somehow pull it together, to beat down Carlos. And Carlos, I guess, in this situation would be like, he'd be like Underground Immortal Technique style, and he'd be like rapping about the Illuminati and shit.
I would say that I would like get too into it, and then my like burns would be too mean that they would stop being fun.
Marty's crying.
Yeah, like if I got too riled up at the rap battle, I would just I would just start being too mean.
I think you cracked it. We would eventually get way too cutting and realize that we love these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm too evil to be left around with like nice people.
Just I'm like calling Matthew bitch mate. He's crying, and I'm like,
I'm sorry.
They're like, why are you guys yelling at us? It's not a rap battle. It's just like Carlos's house. Yeah, I mean, I don't got bars to speak of, but I can think of mean things to say, so I think that's what'll happen.
Yeah. I think we win, but at what cost?
yeah.
Yeah.
Which of the Heroes 3 do you think is the best rapper?
It's just such an insane question.
Who do you think Marty's got the hardest bars?
I could see Marty having like a mumble rap style situation coming up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my answer.
I'm gonna go Matthew.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think Carlos. I feel like I've asked him to rap and he just sort of defaulted to like Fruity Pebbles. I think you could get more out of Matthew.
Sorry. Another configuration of this just headcanon. I'm actually Brittany Murphy, and I fucked up. I fucked the free world.
That would be so great. We go up and they're just like, "You guys are gay," and like, it's like shit. Shit, they're right.
I'm in the audience in a tank top, and I'm like, fuck shit.
Yeah,
you guys
Mom
did run
Spaghetti
train
comes
on
up
me.
all at once.
Doing the like,
I mean,
I am white trash.
I am a
gay.
fucking bum.
I did
live in
suck
a
three
trailer with
dudes
my
off in
mom.
the bathroom before coming out on stage.
Holy shit.
I will moan if you push this button.
Thank you. Thank you for the question, Naji Kirima.
Yeah, thanks, Nadia Kirima. I apologize to everyone else.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you so much for listening. If you want to follow the show, you can do so on wherever you get your podcasts. So that is Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Wherever you're listening, please rate, please review, please subscribe, please follow, please leave a comment. I asked for a comment, and it's now occurring to me that I haven't checked, but I'm going to assume I haven't received one. So I would like a comment. So yeah, do all that good stuff. You can also subscribe to the show's Patreon. That's patreon.com/swimfans. We have the full back catalog of Patreon episodes there. So for as low as $1 a month, you can join the other doves who are already listening. And thank you to those listeners already. You can find the show wherever you get, or you can find the show on all social medias. So that is Blue Sky, Instagram, Letterboxd, user SwimFansPod. You can email the show if you have questions, concerns, recommendations, swimfanspodcast@gmail.com. You can also ask questions on Instagram, the Spotify episodes, wherever. They'll probably get to us. And I am on all the same social medias, Blue Sky, Instagram, Letterboxd, Amons, AMONNS. I finally watched K-pop Demon Hunters. I thought it was okay. I'll make this short. I liked the bad guy a lot more than I thought I would. I thought he was like a little interesting, and somehow not one single moment of this movie was spoiled for me. I don't know how. So I was a completely fresh experience. But like I really wanted more time with like the girls, because like if you haven't seen K-pop Demon Hunters, I don't know what to tell you. Wake up, right? But like it's, you know, when they break up, I just think it would have been better if I knew more about them. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure why the main girl, Rumi, decided to be nice again at the end. She just like decided to stop being a demon, and I guess I wanted. I don't know. I didn't follow it. But the songs were fun. The characters are fun. I like that little tiger thing. Jen.
You can follow me on Blue Sky, diatron5.swimfanspod.com. I'm on Letterboxd Diatron. I watched a shot on video movie called Twisted Issues. It was from 1988, and it's it's a skater, like skateboarder splatter comedy. It doesn't like it has a narrative.
That sounds kind of good.
It was cool. It vibed really well. I guess it started off as like a documentation of like some Florida like skater punk scene, and it sort of just evolved into being this like horror narrative. And then like there's a lot of kind of like fun like surreal color touches and stuff. I liked it. If you have the means to see it, I would check it out. Craig.
You can find me at Craig Neeson on Instagram and Letterboxd, CraigNeeson.com. I rewatched The Taking of Deborah Logan, which is a possession film. I'm not gonna say anything about it. Other than I think it's very solid. One, it's very solid. Two, you will never guess the theme. You will walk into it and you will never in a million years guess the theme of the type of possession that's about to happen. It's fucking great. It zigs when you expect it to fucking zag, and I think it has a really cool flavor to it. I think it's pretty successful. I do want to talk about, I saw How Much Wood Would Woodchuck Chuck, which is a really brief documentary, about 50 minutes. Werner Herzog films the cattle auctioneer world championship. We got three. We got 11 over here. We got 7 over here. We got three and a quarter. You know, there's like so many of these motherfuckers. And like Herzog's fascinated with the Amish because they speak Pennsylvania Dutch, and he tries to speak German to them, and they're like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying to me. And like it's really funny because you see these I mean, because they're actually auctioning, like in addition to competing, they're actually auctioning off cattle. So each one are auctioning the cattle to people in the audience. And like there's like an A and a B camera, and you're like, well, where's Herzog? And occasionally you see him with this fucking like shotgun mic, like behind the fucking, oh my god, behind the competitors, just like recording their glossolalia, just fucking stern faced, like he's, you know, oh my god,
locked in.
It really, but it is unfortunately one of the only Herzog documentaries where I'm like, I need more of your voice here, man. Like I need you to reflect on it, because when he does reflect on it, which is actually very brief, it's really fucking funny, and it because he believes it to be the last language, a language and a poetry conceived completely by capitalism. Which is amazing. That's a fucking beautiful thought. But he doesn't really get to expand on that thought, or doesn't like allow himself to like really insert himself into the documentary, which I think is a bit of a shame. It's weird. It's a really weird subculture. Yeah. It's a really weird documentary. It's too long. I don't really care about seeing all these competitors. Wish Herzog would have talked more.
Yeah, because Herzog's kind of, he's the only guy who does this, right? Who gets away with this, is that he's the main character of every documentary that he
makes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
The man in Grizzly Man is a fascinating person, but I'm more fascinated by Herzog's reactions to the
Yeah,
man.
how does he interpret this footage is like such a huge part of the thing.
Yeah.
Into the Abyss, where he's doing the two death row inmates, and he's talking to the one with the main one, the one that kind of got everything pinned on him. He's like, yeah, I think the fact of you dying is morally reprehensible. I believe what's happening here is wrong. It's just like I just love the fact of him just like kicking down the door and being like, I have thoughts. And then like saying it to like the people involved, like I think the fact that you're going to die is awful. I think it's a moral stain. And then it's just like, for a documentarian just to be like in it, in the way that he's in it. But for some reason in this little piece, he just decided not to be super in it. And I think that's kind of a shame.
L.
Fascinating.
Get back in
though.
there.
Really
Yeah.
fascinating stuff. Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.